Hey, what's up? NorbCam coming at you. Just finished, literally minutes, seconds ago, watching the movie Get Out with Mike Lorraine, 80s Broncos fan, and Brian Frank here at the AMC Theaters in Factoria. What's up, you guys? You guys are still up. I like it. Check it out. This is my new favorite theater because they got the, it's a pretty good screen sound system, but they got the reclinable chairs. But anyway, that was good. We're gonna review this movie. Still got the popcorn going on. Man, I didn't have a whole lot of expectations. Let me introduce the fellas who are going into it. So, be frank.
Are we on already? Yeah.
We're on. Brian Frank, 80s Broncos fan, Mike Lorraine. So literally, just like as I said, we just walked out of the theater. Thumper 228, Evan P. Soren, Carlson, Go Hawks 12.
Go Hawks 12.
All right, so first of all, if you haven't seen the movie yet, spoiler alert right now, because we might say some things that would ruin the movie for you.
Definitely, yeah.
So do not watch any further if you don't want to have anything possibly affect your viewing of this movie. But if you have already seen it or don't care if you get spoiled, then watch on. We're going to have a little discussion about this film because this has been out for a little while. And going into this, Brian had already seen it once,
yep.
and he's as you said earlier, he rarely sees a movie twice in a theater. The fact that he was like, came up here, he's only visiting for the week. I said, I gotta get together, let's go see a movie. He's like, well, what can we see? Threw out a few suggestions, nothing really big.
I said,
we haven't seen Get Out yet. I heard it's supposed to be really good. 99 Rotten Tomatoes. I know you've seen it. Would you want to see it again? He was like, yeah, let's do it. I was like, okay, must be pretty good. So saw a few trailers, but really knew nothing about what the story was about. Other than I knew there was gonna be some comedy, some horror.
You didn't know anything about it.
Nothing.
You didn't even see the trailer?
Nope.
Wow, so you're really into it.
I knew zero.
So I knew a few of the creepy shots, so I knew a few moments that when I saw them, they didn't completely, you know how trailers are these days, they pretty much screw the movie up for you because you see you're looking for, where's that one shot where the dude's running at him? So I knew about those things, but I didn't know what the story was about. Anyway, so going into it, I guess I'll just start with my just kind of initial reaction to it was that it was just really, it wasn't like a typical horror movie where you go into horror movie mode, but it has elements of a horror film. But it's really just very suspenseful.
Thriller, suspense.
Yeah, but with horror elements, definitely. Man, I just thought the whole movie is, like you said, is just you feel very uneasy throughout. At least I felt that way, and it was just like I had this tenseness in my shoulder. I need to get a massage now after this because my neck was just like get out of there, But you just get out. It's like see by the titles, get out. You just want to get out because just torture is being in there. But they do it in a way that's just very uneasy, like you said, Rod Serling, Twilight Zone-esque kind of vibe to it. But
go there where
was it a good movie?
The characters start checking themselves on whether they're just being paranoid or not.
Hey, Yakima. All right, I'm from Sela. Nice.
Okay.
Anthony D. Buzzing up my phone. Organ harvesting is big. What did he say? Organ harvesting is real. Open your third eye. Whoa.
Wow.
In Oregon. Well, I know it happens across the border, but in Oregon?
Not Oregon.
Your organs.
I
need to check my two eyes because I'm not reading too well. Organ harvesting is real. Open your third eye. I thought it was organ harvesting in Oregon.
Yeah, don't cross the border. It ain't worth.
I was going, man.
Tax.
I didn't know organ harvesting in Oregon was getting bad, man, because that's only like south of the Washington border. I'm talking about the wrong border. Anyway, that movie was. Sorry about that. Yeah, that movie was intense. Just like
Rod Serling type stuff, man.
Little Kubrick.
Yeah, a lot of Kubrick shots.
The music.
So here's my.
Anyway, I enjoyed it. And I just to wrap up my quick overview is I enjoyed it. Hadn't seen a horror movie in a while, and I liked it because it was refreshing, different, and I liked the way they worked kind of the race thing into it as well. But it was just the suspense. I love any movie that does great suspense, and that was definitely good suspense. Go ahead.
Movies.
That
fudged.
That movie.
Movies fudged.
Can't argue against that. AJ from Rent, what's up, man? I do love horror movies. We made a horror movie. I mean, I know I'm not with Brian.
Yeah,
he has to
just
see
told
it.
me about it.
But we made a movie called Frayed. It was a horror movie, independent feature. Mike worked on it. I co-wrote and directed it. And
where can they find it?
You can still see it. It's out on Netflix. You can't stream it, but you can get the DVD. It's also on demand, I believe, on Xfinity, Comcast, Frayed, F-R-A-Y-E-D, and on Amazon. You can get it on Amazon. You can get the DVD on Amazon, or you can stream it on Amazon, I believe. So, anyway, so we've had some experience with horror, but that's why I always love a good horror film. So, Mike?
So, okay, I'm gonna give my mini review here. Act 1 and 2 were good, and I'm not a big horror movie guy, but yeah, it wasn't entirely horror, but I would say I was having a good time trying to figure out what was going on, and that's a good sign. But Act 3, I thought it just turned into your typical House of Horrors, guy tries to escape, everybody is killed.
Yes, that's true.
It really, the third act to me was actually the most disappointing part of the film. But I have a logistical question I'll ask these two folks here.
We're folks.
Okay, he's in a chair. He's tied with his hands and feet. How does he get the tufts from the armrest into his ears?
He bent over.
Okay.
He got his whole head down there to where.
Yeah.
So he's like this.
Because
and
they
he
did
can
not
go
tie
like
the
that.
chest.
They
That was
didn't
their
yes,
favorite
that was their,
flaw.
yeah,
You
exactly.
always tie the
Because he was
chest.
like this, he was looking at it close, he could just go like this.
Yeah, all right. Okay. fair
So
enough.
that's I thought that as well, and I
Now
thought
you
that's
like
how
the
he did
third
it.
act, don't you?
Well, that was actually that moment to me was the end of Act 2 and the beginning of Act 3.
Right, when
That
it breaks
was-
out, that's the end of
After
Act
that,
three.
it just,
That's
I don't
after.
know. For me, it just wasn't that interesting.
Oh, good. Go Hawks 12. He had to pick cotton to get free.
Oh,
Going deep in the
Very,
deep on the subtle
very
racial themes. What? That was really good. I wonder, that'd be a good question for the director, like in a Q&A. Was that really an intentional use of cotton to symbolize the connection
That was
between?
beautiful.
That was really well phrased out. I'm sure it was. I'm sure he intended it. If he didn't, he's going to say he did.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Why,
It was.
yes.
I heard the sequel is called Get.
Get in.
I heard the sequel called Get In. Just the parents accept their daughter dating the black guy. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. That's the point. Yeah, that was good. Am I tired? Do I look tired?
That movie hurt
I
your
have to-
feelings.
Hurt your feelings?
Hawks 12 says that movie hurt my feelings. Wow.
I don't know. It just hurt my neck
personal.
muscles. Seriously, I need to get a massage after that.
Shoulders are all hunched.
Someone said it was okay. Georgia. Yeah, it's
No,
yeah,
you
and
knew
I
how to
agree.
build
I agree.
Suspense, man. I gotta tell you.
I mean, in writing, as a lover of movies and a writer of having some experience in writing one, you know, the toughest thing in a movie is the third act.
Absolutely.
Always.
Because one is introducing the story, introducing the characters. Two, you build it up, you kind of get them to that next level of depth. And third is you got to wrap it up. And so many movies usually fail on that last part. How many times you've seen a movie? Oh, that's really interesting. Oh my God, no way! How are they ever going to get out of this? Oh, the nuclear bomb goes off. Oh, they just figured out there was a virus and they beat the aliens with it. You know,
Yeah.
so there's always some like, what? Come on, it can't be that easy. And you know, like so the twist at the end. Again, spoiler alert. It has already been spoiled to death already. Did you guys see the security guy coming? Did you figure that was going to be the guy coming? I didn't see it
First
coming.
time I saw it, no, I thought it was going to be the cop. From
So
the-
did I. And after I realized it was the guy, I should have said, "Oh, of course it was
Yeah,
going to be
yeah.
him," but I didn't see it coming. So while afterwards it felt like it should have been so predictably obvious it would be a security guard friend. I
Just by
thought
following
maybe.
his
Well, I
story.
thought maybe I didn't know how this director worked. But I thought if we're going for the non-Hollywood ending,
Uh-huh.
you would have the white cop show up,
Yeah.
blow him away, and the whole thing ends
And
in
then
a
it just
terrible
ends.
tragedy. And it's like, oh, the
Yeah.
senseless,
Ends
you
up
know,
like the
reality
deer
of
on the
how things really go. Justice is not served, blah blah blah. But actually, it does work out in this
it did.
in this film. Now,
Actually,
we really spoiled it.
I thought the best humor was where his friend says, "My what do you say? My TSA sense is tingling."
Yeah.
Whatever. That was a good line.
Well,
It
you
was
know,
very funny.
and that was a really good, public service announcement and ad for a TSA.
A lot of
Yeah.
Because
TSA.
TSA usually gets slammed every
Yeah.
time. They actually blew him up to be like, yeah, TSA
Yeah.
knows what the heck they're doing better
More
than
job
detectives.
applicants.
Yeah, it was funny.
Job applicants for TSA.
Yeah,
right
mother.
after this movie.
Did he say go TS
Mother.
A?
Yeah. Hey.
We handle shit.
The what was that? The goat of football. He wanted his body because he had good art visibility. I thought it was
Right.
cool. The whole idea that he wanted him because he wanted his
eyes.
photographic
Well,
senses.
his eyes for the blind guy.
Plus, with all those random questions when he was meeting all the couples, the first thing that guy says is, "Do you play golf?" Let me show me your swing.
Right,
and then,
right,
of
just
course,
like you
the
said,
woman
yeah.
with the old guy with the tubes up his nose is just, ooh, look at good
Yeah,
muscles,
yeah.
right? You know,
Right.
like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't get that
They're
until we
interviewing-
watched the video.
Yeah.
I knew that I thought it was like what the guy predicted, like they just want it for a slave or as a companion or something like that. They just brainwash him to be a nice companion of whatever they desire. I didn't think about that it was actually a body transformation part. Anthony D, I know, bro. I know what you're asking. I thought the movie was good but creepy. That's the whole point. It's supposed to be good and creepy. If you can get good and creepy together in a movie like they did.
Uncomfortable the entire time like that.
Yeah, it was good.
And enthralled.
Actually, the coffee cup teacup trick was good. Like
with that sound.
That sound, that looping noise you make with the spoon.
Right.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, that was clever.
And it makes you believe it because I've never seen it. I've never done it myself, but you know the when you go to like even just like the amusement theme parks and they have the hypnotist who brainwashes the crowd.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen it?
No.
Actually done it? You never seen it?
What parks do you go to?
No. They do this in like
all kinds of
all kinds of things. And they'll take the crowd, bring them up to the stage, and they'll do something. And they say, okay, when you hear me say this, you're gonna dance around on one leg or something. And these are like totally supposedly random strangers, and they'll just walk around, and the guy will they're just sitting there, watching, and then the guy will just say the key word, and all of a sudden, the person or the whole group will suddenly start doing what he suggested, and everybody's laughing, and the audience member has no idea, and they come back out later, and they didn't even realize what was happening. So I mean, you watch that, and you go, man, I could believe that how the hypnosis worked in that movie. Mm-hmm. Maybe it really could happen. Maybe it's not because unless you know.
Well,
how
I
it
liked
works.
how they made jokes about all the typical hypnosis tricks, and I thought, okay, this will be interesting to see what she actually does.
Yeah, I like that little the sound of the teacup thing was a good device.
Good.
I have no idea if
And
it's
how he
based in
sees her in a
reality.
window in space, kind of making you feel that feeling like you're trapped. Mm-hmm. It's good.
The housekeeper looked like Martellus Bennett. The groundskeeper, the guy, he looked like Martellus
The
Bennett.
housekeeper, the lady.
Not the woman.
the lady.
The lady looked like
The lady did not look like Martellus Bennett. She was creepy though.
Yeah,
that woman was creepy.
But that
She was
little scene
awesome.
where the inner
She walks
struggle's
into
going
the
on, she's
room,
trying to
yeah.
hold the smile, and then the tear comes down. I thought that was
good.
just a brilliant.
From
you
an
can see the
acting
struggle
standpoint,
inside.
that's a A-list actor right there.
Yeah.
Oh, he's talking about the guy who ran. Yes, actually, the guy who ran, the wood chopper, groundskeeper guy.
Guy who
yes,
runs right
he
now.
did. He did. That was creepy. That was spooky. It was just like, what the hell?
90-degree sharp turn.
It's like, sorry about exercising last night. Yeah, exercised.
That's funny.
Have people ever been racist to me? Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I've experienced racism. Growing up, I grew up not that far from where I live now, here in Kent. When I was a kid, I had people call me Japanese, Chinese, and Chink, all kinds of negative, kind of like what people do on YouTube now. It really hasn't changed much in 30-something years.
It's great when racists don't even know what race you are and call you something wrong. Like,
Oh yeah, no, I've had many people I've been called a wetback. Vietnamese. I'm like, dude, do your research before you do your racial attacks. At least
Come on.
you can figure it out.
Put
If
a
you
little
watch my
effort into
videos,
it.
you'll know
You
at least what
racist, put a little
part of the
effort
country I
into
am.
it, for real.
So I felt weird about white people after I left the theater.
They all wanted to make you sex slaves. That's what.
Congratulations, Anthony D, on your baptism. That's very cool.
Oh.
Have you ever been racist? I'll tell you about a story. I never thought I'd get into an anecdote. I remember a time when I had to think about my own prejudice.
I think
and
I know the
biases.
story.
We were living up in the same house up in Seattle. We had our business up there. It was probably maybe a year into our business. And I was going down to U.S. Bank where our business had a loan. I remember I was rode my bike down because it was just down the street. I went to go do some transactions. I put my bike in a little bike rack, and I was just gonna start walking to the bank. And I saw this. I saw like a couple of black guys walking down the sidewalk, and I then stopped from going back in the bank, and I locked up my bike. And I wasn't going to do it at first. And the guy came up to me and he said, "Yo, I saw that, man. You weren't going to lock up your bike. You saw two black guys walking down the sidewalk. All of a sudden you needed to lock up your bike. What's up with that?" And I felt like
You didn't have an answer
I'm
for it.
guilty as charged, And I was thinking, I was like, man, am I racist? Did I just do like just completely racial act at that point? And and I started thinking, a lot of self-exploration, but I thought it wasn't just the race thing. It was also, I think the guy, if I can recall, I think they were wearing, they're pretty, just kind of wearing street clothes, jeans, and pretty casual. But I thought, I don't think it's a race thing. I think there were other factors, because if it had been an African American man walking down, he'd been in a business suit, I probably wouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, so it wasn't really that it was a race issue as much as it was, to me, a just sizing up an individual based on other factors, not just on race. Because I think if I saw maybe some suspect white guys who were wearing some stuff that maybe I think this guy looks kind of questionable, I might have done the same thing.
Yeah, sure.
Or they could have been Asian for that matter.
Sure.
So I guess I sort of rationalized myself into thinking, well, maybe that's really what was going on there. Because the reality is you try to tell yourself, I'm not going to be judgmental or stereotyping or anything like that, but you walk out of your car at night in a parking lot, and you're going to go to some place where maybe it's a little bit shady part of downtown.
Right.
You're stupid not to look around and wonder what's the risk assessment, right? You got to walk around and make sure that, is there anybody behind me? And if somebody looks dangerous because of either how they're dressed or the way they're carrying themselves, you've got to kind of step in a little bit of protective mode, right? And that's not being racist, it is just being, pragmatic, cautious about your situation. So you kind of have to, at that point, sort of make judgments on what you see, because that's all you got to go on. I'm not going to wait to see if the guy's got good character before he clocks me in the head with some kind of a hammer or a knife or something. So you can't give people that much benefit of the doubt, you know what I'm saying? So what's this here?
Good story.
Well, that was true. It's subtle racism. It's the kind of racism that exists today. That's from ERAUCP. I don't know how to say that.
Yep.
Irapukurowa. Sorry, I can't read your thing. Everyone knows the KKK, but nobody gets why asking a black person, are you on a basketball scholarship when they're at school, is problematic. Potash 78, good to see you, man. Do you remember the Asian guy in the white party scene of Get Out?
Yeah, Japanese.
Oh, yeah, the Japanese guy. He asked the
yes.
question about
Yeah,
how do you feel African Americans are doing
Now as
in modern
opposed to
society
then,
or something like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Anyway,
He never really answered the question.
movie
That
review,
was
but all right.
We're
really,
into
really
political
deep.
commentary here. Anyway, well, you didn't get to say really your review on the movie. You got a few
second
things,
time
but-
around? I mean, it
Yeah,
was
second
good
time
enough to
around.
see
Did you
twice.
see something different
I
than the first
I
time?
wanted to see how Jordan Peele, who is my new M. Night Shyamalan now, how he builds suspense, and he builds suspense by. It seemed like he first depicted the protagonists, Daniel's concern, or Chris in the film, his concern about going into this very white area as a black man, and then seeing his reactions of how people are acting, just finding that things are really askew, and then relating it to our experiences growing up in whatever area that you're in, and saying, there's something off about this. And I think that being off and caring about the characters is what builds the suspense. And then I don't know if we had said this just now, but we were talking about how Jordan Peele's doing a lot of Kubrick moves and Kubrick sounds, and there's a reason why Kubrick's so good at that, so barring from that. But the suspense was great. The characters were terrific. I loved it the second time around. Yeah.
Yeah. I one thing that it distracted me a little bit in that first scene when the guy's in the neighborhood walking around and he's trying to find the city. I kept thinking, why didn't he just go on a smartphone, use GPS?
Yeah.
Thinking, why is he trying to figure out these cross streets
here.
and stuff? I thought nowadays everybody just punches it in and there's no question.
Yeah.
So I was kind of pondering that in my head. But then when they did that scene when the car rolls up and just starts following him, that was creepy. I did like that juxtaposition, because typically whenever you see a scene of somebody who's in a threatened thing, it's usually the black guy's the threat and everybody else is always the victim waiting in the wings. But here it's like you have the African American guy walking down the sidewalk, and he's the one who's scared with this pretty nice car driving by, which is the opposite of what we're typically always seeing. You always see some, creepy, vehicle that's usually stereotyped in some way, and some shady characters that look what you expect to see, and this is like the complete opposite. But right off the bat, you thought, okay, I thought right away, this is going to be a good suspenseful ride.
Yes, definitely.
So,
and comfortable seats out here at the AMC.
You've been to a lot of theaters. You've
These
been to like
recliner seats were good.
Yeah, they were. There's only a few of them that have that, but the best part about it is it doesn't cost anymore. It's the same price as going to a regular theater. You get the whole recline action, get your seats in advance. You don't have to come here and put your jacket on a bunch of seats to save seats. You just order the seats you want. It's awesome.
This is 80s Broncos fan, new favorite theater.
That's right. You will see us here at the AMC in Victoria. They should pay us for this. Question. What would you each give the movie on a scale of 1 to 10? Out of 10, I should say.
10 being perfection.
10 being perfection, 1 being garbage.
I'd say probably a 6. 6
Really?
to 7.
6?
It's the third act. The third act to me took it down. It was great up until he escaped from the chair. After that, it was just very predictable. There was nothing surprising to me, to where I was as into it as I was up to the end of Act 2. Mm-hmm. So I'd say 6.5.
Soren Carlson rounded you up and gives it a 7.
That's fine.
Okay.
Brian, how about you?
I would put it at an 8 myself. I was explaining to Norb earlier how big a fan I am of good storytelling on a very limited budget, and I think that this was about 10 million, which qualifies it as a low budget film. And I love it when you can tell a good story with no money.
Well, they didn't have any big stars in there, right? So that's what they were saying.
Catherine Keener, Bradley Whitford.
But you know, I mean, they're not like A-listers.
No, they're not commanding $5 million.
Yeah, exactly. So they got them, I'm sure, on a pretty decent deal. But because that's usually where all that, you know, if it's not an effects movie, you're paying for the salaries of the actors and then everything else. So, but you know, it's pretty good one. You know, simple locations, not too many crazy, action sequences.
So how many out of 10, Norb?
For me,
Yeah, your
I think I'm going to go a little bit higher on that. I do agree that the third act, I knew that the third act would have to just have him escaping. You knew that was going to happen. But I thought maybe they'd have a few more creative. I just felt like they could have been a little bit more creative with his escape.
Well, he just killed everybody.
He just killed everybody, and they left nothing. You know, there was they had a couple of opossum moments where the dude who got his head bashed in comes back.
Oh
and
yeah, he
the
was
girl
bleeding
comes
all over
back.
the carpet, and he comes back and starts MMA and the dude.
That was a little bit, but so I'd give it an 8. It's solid, maybe nudging towards an 8.5, but because I like so much of the first 2 acts, and the redemption factor at the end when the friend picks him up, and the humor they worked with that, I pushed that a little bit to the 8.5.
I will say most of the time when I see a movie with Norb, usually I'll look over halfway and he's sound asleep, which I call it a sleeper hit.
Norb stayed awake.
But he was awake the whole time.
I didn't doze whatsoever.
So that makes sense.
But that's not necessarily correspond to the quality of the movie. I will fall asleep even if it's a good movie, just because I might just be lacking of sleep. So that's
funniest part. Somebody asked what the funniest part down towards the bottom.
Down here?
Yeah.
Oh, what was the funniest part?
Soren.
Oh man,
the TSA.
every time the TSA guy
when
was
he's trying to
in
explain
the
at the
scene.
police station, I thought was the funniest.
Yeah.
The reactions of the police officers while he's trying to tell them that they're recruiting black people for sex slaves, and just seeing them. I thought that was the funniest part, not the best part.
Yeah, I like the phone call parts when he's talking to him. When talking to his friend. Any of that stuff.
What theater, you ask? AMC Factoria.
AMC Factoria. I'm still here right now. Norman likes to snooze. I don't like to snooze. I just can't help myself sometimes. So I stay up too late making videos.
He wants to pay money to sleep in places. Yeah.
Our joke is that Norb likes to pay $10 to take a nap with strangers.
Yeah. Except I was surrounded by friends this time, so it was okay. Let's see what else. Most good stories are done with low budgets. Hey, our horror movie we did was for
Ours was low budget.
Yeah.
$250,000, which is a lot of money when it's one person paying for it, but low budget in the scope of things. So check out Frayed, and you'll see what we did for $250,000.
Right.
I think we're boring the viewers. We're down from 12 to 7.
Well, we are pretty much done. We're pretty much done here. So. So we're going to talk about Seattle of the Seattle. All right, well, I'm hitting the 24-minute mark here, so we're going to put the wraps on this movie review of Get Out. That's kind of fun. Actually, I have to do more of these. It's kind of fun to review movies
We
live.
did one after Hardcore Henry.
Oh, yeah, we did do that. I did a Facebook Live on that one. That's true. Yeah, that was fun.
No, it was good. It looked too shaky for me. I think
it was pretty creative. It was pretty Hardcore Henry was very creative. You gotta have your video game mindset on, otherwise you'll get nauseous throughout the thing. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. We'll see you at the next video. So check it out. Coming from Mike Lorraine, 80s Broncos fan. Be Frank, also Brian Frank, actor,
LA.
storyboard artist extraordinaire.
I was not in LA, but there you go.
NorbCam. We'll see you next time. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Woo!